Do you ever have such strong feelings for your friends that sometimes you just want to smack the ever-loving out of them, but you can't really find a healthy way of expressing that? Well, look no further than this game called Brutality. This was a game that I found at GenCon last year. It's literally nothing more than just laying the beat down for 2 to 4 players. The base game comes with 6 characters: the God Killer, Sadie Ironcrest, Bloodwood Warden, Ophelia the Conjurer, Astral the Assassin, Ronan the Gravekeeper, and Victor the Monarch Torturer. You can also pick up their expansions, which not only add other characters, but also add cool set pieces like this. The characters that you get in the expansion are Rangoth, Demon King, Crowley, the Plague Baron, Trojan, the Righteous Executioner, Atticus Killgore, the Leviathan Hunter, and this crazy redhead known as Mary the Brutal. So like I said, this game seriously is all about just kicking the out of your friends, and they pull no punches. This is no holds barred aggression at its absolute finest. So I'm going to take you over to the table. I'm going to show you a little bit about what this looks like. Alright, so here it is. You got our setup for Brutality. It's pretty simple, which means it's easy to set up, and it's easy to learn, which means it's quicker to get into gameplay, which means the sooner you can show your friends how you truly feel about them. So I have it set up right here in a quick scenario, like the game is already started. The rulebook will tell you how to set it up, and the one thing I want to mention about the rulebook, the wording can be kind of vague in some areas. How I handle that, I always just err on the side of more damage, because if you're playing 1v1, then you control both characters on your side of the board. If you're playing 2v2, then each person only controls one character, but you're on teams of 2. So I have it set up. Each character, again, pretty simple, straightforward. They each have their own 2 or 3 abilities that they can do, or special attacks as they call them. You have your little health track at the bottom, you keep track of that, and then you have your movement right here. It tells you what directions you can move and then how many spaces at a time. To give you guys an example, let's say it's my team's turn. I'm playing as the God Killer. Here is one of the moves that got me hooked on this freaking game. Day 1, move 1. I was playing as the God Killer at Gen Con 2019. He's gonna move up 2, and then he's going to use his attack called Brutal Impact, which allows him to skewer someone on his sword and then fling them to another space adjacent to him. So he's going to pick up with his sword, he's going to skewer the assassin, pick her up with his sword, fling her into this spiked wall, and deal extra damage.
Are you not entertained? Are you not entertained?
The first things I did when I played this game, my first move was I did the same thing. God Killer skewers an enemy, he flings him over on a catapult, which then launches him across the map into the spike wall. I'm telling you what, this game is brutal, it's visceral, it's super fun, it's really not all that long. So you can get a nice good game in with, 20-30 minutes or so, give or take. Depending on how familiar you are with the game and its mechanics and stuff. I do want to mention that not only can you play on these battlegrounds here, but also it is a dual-sided board. You can also play in Icetown, where the game board and the gameplay is basically the same, except these outer walls here are actually spikes, as if you have a spike trap down, and it just adds another element to the game. So there you have it, fellers and felleries. That's my little ado about Brutality. And I know a lot of my reviews, and by a lot I mean the past 2, have been positive, but that's because they're games that I own and that I had decided to buy because I like them. Either way, Brutality, I was hooked immediately. I bought the base game and the expansions all at the same time because I knew I was going to love this game, and I wasn't wrong. As I mentioned before, the rulebook can be a little vague in some places, but it's really not hard to work around. But the team is on Twitter and they'll answer your questions. Also, I think they keep up-to-date rules and stuff on their website, which is brutalityboardgaming.com. Also, in the rulebook, there's actually some lore to this. It's not super in-depth yet, but there's actually a surprising amount of lore and backstory, which actually consists of like half of the book. and I freaking can't wait to paint all those minis. As you can see, I did paint the spike wall and the limestone wall there as well, and that was super fun. Added some citadel skulls and stuff to them, so it definitely can scratch that itch for you artsy-fartsy mini painters such as myself. They're pretty big scale, but I don't know the scale because I'm a normie. So anyways, that's been the Normie review about Brutality. Check it out. They have been at several conventions, and they're probably coming to another one near you soon. Okay, bye.